good rising, we have another day. Good rising, hey, 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 hey. Good rising, we have another day. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Yeah, okay, good rising. All right, we have a holiday in the United States. Memorial Day, or and we get the day off from work. I am just really getting up, getting bathed and dressed, and I did put my hair back. I went to the gym yesterday, and I didn't go to the one around the corner. I was like, let me switch it up a bit because my gym membership, I can go to that same gym all over the city. I just never do. Well, yesterday I decided I was going to switch it up, and I did go to another gym. So I have my hair back because I plan to go again today to the gym, uh, like I did yesterday, and get a workout. But today I think I'm just going to go around the corner to that gym. But we'll see. I may switch it up again today, and then come back and shampoo my hair. I have a hair appointment Friday, Friday or Saturday, and for my relaxer retouch. So I can't shampoo my hair like at least 72 hours before I get my hair done. Good rising as y'all come in. I'm making my breakfast, y'all. I'm having avocado, half of an avocado. I'm gonna salt and pepper it, and then I'm gonna have some 2 pieces of turkey bacon, not turkey bacon, turkey sausage, and some egg whites. All right, so yeah, and while my turkey sausage is sizzling, starting to sizzle, I am going to go ahead and change out the ancestors water. I change it out. If I don't do it daily, I do it like every other day because I like for my folks to have a nice, and I let the water run a minute because I know one of my ancestors, or he's not like a direct ancestor, but I remember he used to like to get a good cool cup of water, glass of water from the tap, but his thing, I remember him saying is to let it run a minute. So I let it run a minute. And I have dreamed of him, and I do believe that those dreams are actually visits. And in the dream where I saw him, he was sitting on the arm of almost like a love seat, and had on a suit, and he was smiling directly at me. And this, like I said, this isn't even a direct one. This is like an older cousin. But yeah. And they can tell when you have regard for your bloodline, especially after they done passed over. All right, so that's their water, but I don't do it all the time, but I am going to make them a cup of coffee this morning. Because sometimes, like on the weekends, sometimes through the week too, I like to be drinking my coffee and look over and see that there's a piping cup of coffee that has been set before them. Uh, yeah, but that's not what I want to talk about. That's just routine. Um, let's see. And let me say this to you too. To those of you that don't think that that's worshiping your ancestors, but it's reverencing them because they actually existed, or else you couldn't be here. Okay. Now I put on lip gloss this morning for y'all because yesterday, honey, when I was putting on my makeup, I was talking, but my lips were dry. But sometimes you need the dry lip truth. And I feel like I came through on yesterday. But I have on lip gloss for you this morning while I do this. Sometimes, and I'm telling this, and it really doesn't matter what enemy hears it. Hello, as you come in, because most of my enemies are family. I'm cooking egg whites, having half of an avocado, and 2 pieces of turkey sausage, just a little bit. So, sometimes instead of pouring out their water, when you change out their water, throw it on your front and back porch. You ain't got to do nothing else to it. You dedicated it to them. Okay? Thank you. That's so sweet. You dedicated it to them. Sometimes instead of pouring it down the drain, throw it on your front and back porch and watch them keep a disrespectful to the bloodline heifer away from you. I'm going to say this again because I'm going to say it again if you haven't heard me say it before. If you would lift your hands against your blood, you ain't shit. Please understand I said that. It's today. Today is what? The 25th? Monday the 25th, 2026, 10:34 Central Standard Time. If you would raise your hand to harm your bloodline, please understand you ain't shit. I mean that with my soul, and I have one. I'm gonna flip my sausage out of my pan. Cause I'm saying that for a reason. Let me get that coffee together. And let me say this too. I want to say something. I was scrolling on not TikTok, because I don't have TikTok. I was scrolling on Instagram, and this preacher came up, and he was really preaching, as African Americans will call preaching, or maybe it's in everybody now. I don't know. I'm just talking about my folks. But he was really preaching. But he was talking about the safe stuff that people don't in the church don't mind preaching against. He talked about how the sopranos are mad at the altos because somebody in both sections likes the choir director, but the choir director likes a tenor, and all that gets all the you're in the house, you're in the house, all of that. Okay, that's the safe space, and I made a Facebook post about this. And please understand, I'm not coming against that man because I like his delivery and his ability to tell the truth. Okay? Because we live in an age people do not like truth. And there is such a thing as did you hear me? THE, the truth. There is such a thing as the truth. Okay? And so he's talking about, but this is the safe stuff that people like to preach about, and they feel like ain't nobody gonna really be mad at them at the end. Here's the thing. So he was coming against same gender loving people. Do you know I was born into the church, okay? I grew up in Christianity. I grew up being saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, and blah, 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 blah. And I know what has been written in scripture about same gender loving people. And I'm going to tell you, I don't understand it. Now, I'm being honest with you. I don't understand it. But that's a personal choice that's not hurting anybody. Okay? And in my post, because I shared his video, and then I asked a question to the church: when are you, instead of attacking what you feel is a safe space, same gender loving people that we can all agree we're gonna hang sin on their neck. Why don't you talk about the pastor's wife? Now I'm talking from experiences. Why don't you talk about the pastor's wife that says that she has done all the repenting she's going to do? Why don't you talk about that? You're in a bad business to be saying you've done all the repenting you're gonna do. Talk about the pastor's strange child that even her supposed to be holy dance looks weird at best and shows she's into some dark stuff. Talk about that. Talk about the woman on the mother's board that is supposed to be a beloved woman of God and mother in the church, but stays up late working witchcraft and spells against innocent people. Now, there's no way to right a wrong but to right a wrong. So I'm not coming against the traditions of our people, but unjustly, no ma'am, no sir. Staying up late just because you want to, and doing spells and stuff just because you want to play God in somebody's life. Talk about that, but you hiding behind a cross. A lot of these people in church don't, especially when we're talking about my folks, my species, don't really believe. They like in what's called the gospel. They think Jesus is a safe space and a keeper and a cementer of their secrets and their evil deeds. When I did not mean to talk about this. I just meant to come on here and have breakfast, make breakfast with y'all. When I was in the church, I think I've shared this before, I would do speaking engagements. In one particular church that I was in, this is when I was living in Alabama, they had conventions every year where most of the pastors would go and find out their new pastoral assignment, okay? Because they would change churches, pastoring different churches. They shifted around, and the conferences is where they would find out what was their next charge. Well, there were some people who did not, some preachers who didn't go to conference, and they would still be having services. Well, I said all that to say, this one pastor invited me to speak. When I got there, my children were little at the time, and I had them with me. But he invited me to speak. And when we went in the pastor study, he let me know that I should be honored that he invited me, that I was not a top dog in the fight, and the only reason I was invited was because everybody else was at the conference. The big heavy hitters were at the conference. Okay? He told me where I could stand in the pulpit. I couldn't stand behind the pulpit. I had to stand behind the lectern as if I gave a damn. All of this. This was when I was still in Christianity, y'all. Okay, so here's my breakfast. Okay, and I'm gonna have a little Pepsi Zero with it in my frost mug. I keep a glass frosted. So I go out and I've studied, prayed and fasted, had my message together. I'm standing behind the lectern, not standing behind the pulpit because I haven't been told where I can stand. So I'm talking, and I end up talking about something totally different than what I had been given through the week. Okay? I ended up talking about pastors being fathers to the sheep. This has been over 20 years ago. And how fathers to the sheep should not be trying to date the sheep. I looked at him. I said, why am I saying, he was sitting back behind in the pool. I said, why am I saying this? I had no intention of talking about any of that. But my whole message got shifted. When I finished, and I was gonna, and it was time for the altar call, I looked for him behind me. I, had called people to the altar. But I looked for him because I was going to turn it back over to him to pray over the people. Y'all tell me why he down at the altar boo-hooing. I'm not talking about streams. I'm talking about boo-hoo crying. So I had to do the prayer and all of that. At the end of the service, y'all, I'm 57. I can tell you more true stuff than I don't have to lie. I can tell you a lot of true stuff. At the end of the service, we stand at where people are exiting so we can greet people and shake hands with people. Couple of women walk up to me. She said, ma'am, I don't know who you are or where you came from, but you came through here today and you done told exactly what's been going on this church. He been running these women like blah, blah, blah. And the preacher the pastor standing right there. But you and your pride and arrogance, oh man, telling me who I am and who I'm not. Why I should see. I don't care for running with crowds. Let me say this, not visible crowds. Oh, I have some people on my team. You just may or may not be able to see them depending on how you roll. I like being underestimated. Because when my folks ride through, you gonna need some help picking your face up off the floor. And I'm not saying that in pride because I can't do it in myself. Yes, there are certain practices, certain ways that I have to walk and exist to cooperate with my invisible team. But it's them coming through. We working together. We're going to get earth together. Because evil is going to sit the hell down. All right. I'm about to go eat my breakfast. There's my turkey sausage and egg whites, avocado. Y'all, we'll talk later. Love y'all.